Okay, so welcome to the first episode. Sorry, I was looking at my ferret who was just staring at me like, what the hell am I doing right now? Um, welcome to the first episode. So, what the plan is for this, because I don't want this channel to be just dead. I know I haven't posted much in there, and that's just because of work and how long it takes me to edit stuff. It's been hard, and I've been working on other stuff on my gaming channel. So that's what's also been taking some time away from me. So that's kind of why it's been done. I was thinking about doing some like quickie reviews for the recent movies that I've seen. I'm thinking about doing the Megan movie and the Jurassic World movie that just came out, because I just saw those not too long ago. So I was thinking about maybe doing like quickie reviews of that. But yeah, basically I'm gonna try something a little different here. Don't know how well it's gonna work. It's it's mainly just because it's just a little easier. Editing just is a pain in the butt for me. It's time consuming, especially for reviews and stuff like that. It's very time consuming to try and make sure it looks good, that the clips are matching with the audio, and basically me doing it off my phone, it's probably even harder. Maybe it'd be a little easier if I had like the right computer and stuff like that to do it, the right setup. But unfortunately, I don't have that at the moment, and I can't pay an editor to do it because I'm not making any money, and I'm not making enough to be able to do that, unfortunately. So that'd be difficult. But I'm going to try this and see how this idea works and kind of go from there and then see what happens. I was thinking about starting a podcast and doing it that way and call it Binge and Blast. But it was a pain in the ass to try and upload it, and I didn't want to pay like a huge fee to do it, especially if it was something that I might not do forever, or something that, I might find something better, find a better way to do it. So I just figured it'd be easier to do it this way, and this way the channel doesn't, this, I still can put stuff up on the channel, at least. It just makes it a little easier for me to do it that way, and that way I don't have to sit there and try and find like another outlet of doing it and stuff. So but yeah, so what I'm gonna be doing is basically what I was already doing before with the Arrow show. I know I didn't complete that one yet. I want to do that. I might just switch it to this format instead for the last final episodes. But it's kind of similar, the same thing. I'm going to give my, what I liked about it, what I disliked, like my pros and cons on the episode of what I liked and disliked about it, give it my grade, and then at the end of the season, give it a ranking as well, depending on how well I thought the episodes were and the story and all that, all that nonsense and stuff. And if people want me to, I will also rank all the episodes in every season. If that's what we want me to do too, I can also do that, but I'm not going to do it right now because that will be time consuming, and I don't want to do it if it's just a complete waste, So I'd rather do it if people are going to actually care to hear that or see that. So, but yes, the first show that I'm going to be tackling is the 2003 TMNT show. I grew up with the show, but I didn't grow up with the show in a way. Like, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I might have seen, like, an episode here or there. I do remember the crossover with the OG one, the 87 cartoon. I don't remember watching that episode, but I do remember seeing it and then people talking about it later on and stuff. So the one thing I do remember about this show is the intro is a banger. Like, just, that's one of my pros, like, so you'll already know, but I do enjoy this intro. But I just never got into it. I don't know if it was more of just the timing, or I can never find the channel that it was on at the time, because I think it changed channels that it was on. I think it was like on Fox Kids at one point. Then went to like Disney. Like I think it changed so many times. So like I didn't even know what channel it was going to be on, what time it was going to be on. And yeah, it wasn't. And like at the time, I only cared about the OG one. Like that was my thing. I liked the live action ones, even though some of them were really, really bad. But yeah, I wasn't at that point. I was also having different interests in watching other stuff. So like it took me away from this show. But I've heard good things about it. And then I forget who it was. I think it might have been J Reviews on YouTube, who was talking about the show season by season. And then it made me more interested, so I figured I wanted to check it out and watch it for myself and see, you know, what I might have missed. You know, I hear people talk about this show in such a high regard that I figured why not watch it myself and see if I enjoy it just as much as everybody else did, or was everybody just talking up smoke up my butt and making it seem like it was a great show and it really wasn't. So I was very curious. Obviously, this is the third TMNT show that came out, because obviously there was the 1987 one, and then there was the live action one, the 97, The Next Mutation, which nobody has anything good to say about that show at all. I think I might have seen a few episodes of that, but I only remember it because of the crossover they did with Power Rangers in Space. And yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the costumes or what it was that made that show just made me not want to watch it. I did have the toys as like a kid, so like, but I never was more into it to watch it. I never cared to, and it only lasted one season. So yeah, good luck trying to watch it at that point, because by the time you think about like, oh yeah, there's a live action show, it's already done and off the air. I think it had like 13 episodes, if that. This show, on the other hand, managed to last 7 seasons and came out in the year of 2003 on February. So this show had some long-lasting, you know, like it lasted a lot longer than I think the OG one. I don't remember how many seasons that one had. I think maybe 5, maybe more. I don't know 100%. But I think this one had a longer season run than both of those shows. So, but we are going to tackle the first season of this one and tackle all 26 episodes. From what I've heard, this one is more similar to the comics, as in being darker, having more complex stories, and making the characters more complex and giving them their own individuality. Jeez, I could not get that word out. Making them stand out as their own characters instead of them all being the same goofy guys who can do martial arts. Like, these guys all have different traits and stick out a lot more. Like, obviously you knew then that Leo was the leader, Raph was the hothead, Donnie was the smarts, and Mikey was, but they were all similar all at the same time. And I guess this show does it a little bit different and a little bit better. I don't know if that's the word to use, but that's what I'm going to say. But yeah, this one's going to have like a darker tone, darker themes, darker action and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see myself, instead of hearing it from other people, watching it myself and seeing how drastically different it is. And also just seeing, you know, what kind of stuff they tackle in this show. I'd be very interested to do that. So in the main cast we have, I'm going to probably butcher the hell out of these names. So yeah, good luck to me on these. We have Michael Sinternakalakis. I'm so sorry, but I butchered the hell out of the name. Who is the voice of Leo. We got Wayne Grayson as Michelangelo, Gregory Abbey as Raphael, Darren Dunstan as Splinter, Mark Thomas as Casey Jones, Veronica Taylor as April O'Neil, and Scott Rayo as the Shredder. So, somebody who I did forget, though. I don't know how I managed to forget it, but Sam Riegel as Donnie. I don't know how I managed to forget that, but I'm sorry that I forgot him on there. I don't know why I didn't I had like a list of the cast, the main cast, like the main people who are going to be like the main focus, like the turtles and stuff like that. But I don't know why I forgot Donnie off that list. I'm not really sure how I even did that. But these guys, all of them, like the main cast also does a bunch of like side characters too. But I'm not gonna mention all the freaking characters they all do, because God, this video is be even longer than what it's going to even be. So yeah, I don't think we really need to do all that. So let's just hop right into the first episode. The first episode is called Things Change, which in the short span of this episode, things really do change pretty quickly. Basically, we start off the episode with the turtles training with Splinter, and them just trying to teach them to be stealthy and not so loud, because as a ninja, you need to be quiet so that no one knows when you're about to attack and strike. And obviously, all of them fail, but Leo, showing his leadership skills here and showing why he is the leader in the group. But before they all get a chance to actually celebrate or argue with each other for what happened just a second ago, we get attack on their home, on the turtles' home here, which these are the Mousers. Obviously, we are not told what these are at the moment, but they are the Mousers from Baxter Stockman. So, they attack the turtles. We have no idea why they're attacking the turtles or where they came from or what the motive is. We don't know anything about that in this episode at all. We don't even learn why they did this and how it even came along. But they end up wrecking the whole, I don't want to say their house, basically, because that's what I was about to say, but their home, essentially, and splitting the turtles off from Splinter. So they got to find a spot to rendezvous with each other. And unfortunately, the other way to get to them, to get to where they got to meet up with Splinter, it's blocked off, so instead they got to go up to the surface, which Leo does not like that idea. He wants to stay stealthy, stay hidden in the shadows, but obviously there is no other way to get over to where they got to go, and they got to go up to the surface and go to another manhole cover and, be able to switch spots. So they end up heading up to the top of the surface, and they see a manhole cover, and unfortunately it's blocked off by a truck, which we don't know who these characters are yet, but we, if you know, they are the purple dragons, but we don't know that right off I think they say it later in the episode, if I recall, but we don't know at the moment. And Raph, being the impatient hothead that he is, instead of just waiting till they move and just staying in the shadows and being patient, he's sitting there trying to move the truck himself, and as he's doing that, the guys end up coming out of the building that they just stole all this money from. And Raph, being the genius that he is, he jumps in the back of the truck, which is crazy that nobody hopped into the back. They all went into the front of the truck, which is very weird. Why didn't anybody go into the back of the truck? Like, I know that's where they put the money, but nobody else needed to go back there. I feel like there was more guys that there was. And then I think at one point when they get to where their club is or their hideout, I think more people come out of the truck, so like everybody fit in the front seats. Like that seemed weird. So unfortunately now the turtles have to change course and now have to go save Raph out of this truck because he was being impatient and he didn't want to wait. So now they got to go and chase Raph and get him, save him and stuff like that. So that's a pain in the butt for them. And while they're doing that, Splinter manages to make it to the place where they're all supposed to meet up, the rendezvous point, but they're not there, and he gets attacked by more Mousers, which I don't know if they're just tracking him or what they're doing. We really just don't understand why they keep attacking Splinter and the turtles. We have no idea. I'm sure in a later episode we will find out, but they end up causing a hole in the ground and end up sending Splinter down, which he sees something. We don't know what it is, but we do find out later that it is their new home, their new base that they're going to be staying at. But at the time, we have no idea what it is. It's just like this bright light in Splinter's face. So the turtles end up waiting for the dragons to get out of the truck and go into the hideout and saving Raph. And we get to see Donnie use some of his skills here, his tech savviness and being able to break the lock on the trucks to get Raph out. But at the same time, Mikey is antagonizing Raph at this point, pissing him off to the point where, you know, as soon as that door opens, he does exactly what we think and jumps Mikey. Well, in the process of him doing that, being so super loud, ends up alerting the dragons, and now they're ready to start a fight. So now, instead of being stealthy, getting Raph out, and then just going back to the rendezvous point, now they got to deal with these guys, which they make short work out of them. If you are a wrestling fan, you would consider the Purple Dragons as the jobbers of this group, basically. They're just simple cannon fodder just to show off how strong the heroes are, basically, is what they are. And obviously, dispatch of these guys real quick. They're basically like, all right, we don't want to handle this shit no more. We're going to book it and get the hell out of here. And as much as Raph is up for another fight, he's ready to go again. The next villain group who comes in, which is the Foot Clan, but bit of a different story. These guys are not so easily dispatched. Obviously, you get to see the skills of all the turtles really here, but you find out who the top fighters are, which is Raph and Leo, who still struggle to deal with the group, but are able to handle themselves a little bit better than Raph and Donnie were able to. But Donnie, still being the smart guy that he is, realizing, all right, let me hotwire this truck and get my brothers the heck out of here because we don't stand a chance here. And then Leo being smart, being like, yeah, let's all get in the truck and get the hell out of here because this is a fight we are probably not going to win, and it's better to come back and fight this another day. So they end up hop-and-tailing into this stolen truck that they have, dropping off the money onto this cop's car, which the one cop is like, did just 4 green people just drop off bags of money onto the top of our truck, or on top of our car? And that veteran cop is just like, well, Rook. Like, what do you mean, Rook? Like, why are you calling him a rookie? He probably is a rookie and all, but like, how often are you seeing turtles throwing bags of money on top of your on your car? Like, how often does that happen in New York? Like, what the hell is going on that this made this guy so calm, cool, and collected that that's just a normal thing? Obviously, later on in the show, I'm sure it's not going to be normal, but like, at this moment, you made it seem so casual, like, yeah, turtles are just walking around daily doing this stuff. It seemed very weird. What kind of stuff are you seeing, sir? I need to know. I need to know this cop's story, because I need to know what the hell this guy has been seeing in his life. So they end up finally rendezvousing with Splinter at this spot, and Splinter tells them, as terrible as it was that their home was destroyed by these mousers, with, you know, with loss comes great gain at the same time, and they find this new place that they have, their new home, which is a better, bigger spot for them, which they all love. So with them losing their old home, they managed to find a bigger and better home for themselves, and they do enjoy this a lot more. And they also, I didn't even realize it at the time when I was watching it, but they also get themselves their turtle truck, or their turtle van, whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it specifically, but yeah, they end up getting their, like, there's a lot of intros into this episode without even realizing it. But yeah, and then that's how the episode ends. So, I mean, good start to the episode. I enjoyed it very much. I only had some very small cons for this episode, and some of them aren't even truly that bad that makes it a horrible episode by any means. So I'll just do the cons first. The animation at times, this is a pro and a con. It can go in both categories, really. But there were times where the animation just looked so off. Like, I noticed one thing where Leo's sash for him holding his swords would, like, disappear in shots. And, like, sometimes it'd be there, sometimes it wouldn't be. Sometimes it'd be there in close-ups, and sometimes it's gone. Like, it just kind of went back and forth all the time. Like, they could not decide if they could remember if it was on him or not at all. And it was one thing that stood out so much on me. And at times, it just looked like the people in the background looked off as well. Obviously, I know you're not going to put super detail into the episode, like, for the characters in the background that we're not going to see for more than, like, a second. But I noticed it, and, like, I noticed it, and it just kind of threw me off, like, wow, that looks pretty bad. But, like, the shots that them in the shadows, where you only see, like, the outline of their skin, like, their green skin, and then, like, the color of their masks, like, it looked so good, to the point where, like, I was like, this is going to be the background of my phone, or my computer or something. Like, these shots look so nice, and I love how they are hidden in the shadows. Like, they look so good. And I don't know, it was like, that's like a cover art right there. Like, that looks great. So yeah, it kind of went back and forth. There were some very good shots, like the shots were good, and then there were just like inconsistencies and like some stuff that just did not look great. But yeah, it was a hit and a miss, which is like a pro and a con for me on it. I know with some animation, I'm going to probably be very hard on it, and others, I get it, times, budget, all of that, it comes into factor. But yeah, I'm going to give it credit when it does something great with the animation, and I'm going to, tell it like it is and say it looks like shit at times, Also, Raph is kind of dumb. They kind of made Raph, like, I get that he is this hothead and that he is very impatient and stuff like that, but they just made it seem like he was so very dumb and that he just didn't know how to be a ninja all of a sudden. Like, I get they're teenagers and they forget stuff, but how is it that everybody else know, even Mikey, the youngest brother of the group, knew when to be smart about it? Granted, he antagonized Raph that whole time, but like, Raph, you gotta realize you're trying to get the hell out of this truck, and you are creating so much more noise and letting Mikey get to you, to the point where then you finally get out, you attack attack Mikey, and get so hot-headed and angry that all of a sudden now the purple dragons hear you, and instead of just booking and leaving, now you have another side quest you gotta take care of, because you couldn't keep your mouth shut, It just seemed like they made him so dumb just to keep the story moving forward, which I did not care for. I know Raph has his moments of him being a great character and stuff, but this one just made him look dumb because of how hot of a head he has, which made him very impatient, which I get. It's a character trait. I'm just saying what I didn't like about it. I didn't like how they did that to Raph. Like, he ain't my boy, but at the same time, I still like Raph as a character, and I just didn't like what they did to him in this one. Also, speaking of Raph, I didn't like how they didn't show Raph and Mikey's skills. Like, Donnie and Leo showed off their skills, but we didn't get to see anything for Raph and Mikey. Like, obviously, we know Raph is the hothead, but that's not a skill to bring to the team. And then Mikey, being the jokester, yet again, not a skill that they bring to the team. Like, there's no reason why. Like, it almost made it seem like, what do you bring to this team? What do you offer to the group of the Turtles? Like, they don't really show much. Like, yes, Raph is a good fighter. Like, they're all good fighters, They can hold their own. But, like, obviously, Raph is the better fighter. But then it's like, yet again, there's Mikey. Like, what does Mikey bring to the table? He didn't show off any of those skills. So I kind of didn't like that half the Turtles didn't get to show what they bring to the group and why they are a integral part of the Turtles. Obviously, first episode can't show everything right away, to have to work in the time frame that they have. So I get that. But yeah, it just seemed it just sucked that we didn't get to see all their characteristics, like what they can do and stuff like that. So that was kind of a bummer. Going into the pros, I did like that they did show off Leo and Donnie's skills. Like, we saw why Leo is the leader. He is patient, calm, he thinks on his feet, he knows when it's time to bail, when it's time to get ready for the fight. He is all about the leadership and, keeping the group ready, keeping the group steady and everything like that. Basically being Splinter 2.0, knowing, learning everything he basically can from Splinter and absorbing it up as a sponge, so, not being so self-centered that he's like, no, all of my ideas are great ideas. Obviously, when he was saying, I don't like us going up to the surface, but listening to, like, Mikey and all of them saying, hey, we have to go up there. There is literally no other way we can go, and him not being this, basic wall of like, no, I don't want to do that, we're not doing that. He's like, all right, I realize we got to do this, but like, let's be smart about this, and like, let's stay in the shadows, be stealthy, find the other manhole cover, and go into that way and just leave. Let's not bring any attention to us. So I like that they showed off the skills and showing off how Leo is the better fighter kind of showing him to be the best of the group, basically. Especially in the beginning when they were all trying to blow out the candle. He was the only one who could do it because he was patient, watched where all the others failed, and took the chance and pounced and got the candle. So, like, I do like that they showed that. And then I like that they showed off Donnie being, like, his tech savvy and what he brings to the table. That obviously Donnie is not the best fighter of the group. We know that. But the fact that he could still use his intellect and be able to get Raph out of the back of the truck and then hotwire the truck in the same time, being able to help them escape and help Raph escape out of the back of the truck. Which, you know, I like that. I like that they were showing off that just because he's not a great fighter, you know, he's not the best fighter of the group, he still brings something to the table and showing why he's still an important part of the Turtles, you know? Like, they still can't do anything without him, you know? I like that they were able to do that. And then, so I know when I said I didn't like that they didn't show off the skills for Raph and Mikey, I do love the brotherly between Raph and Mikey. I loved how, like, Mikey being the younger brother and getting on his big brother's nerves and, like, pushing his buttons and stuff like that. And then I don't remember what scene it was, but there was a part where Raph is just, like, pushing Mikey back and forth. And, like, Mikey's trying to come closer, but Raph just keeps pushing him and keeps pushing him. And I thought that was funny. And I liked that they doing that. Like, I liked that they basically were showing how these are brothers, these are teenagers and stuff. And, like, I like that they showed that type of skill. Like, I liked that that's the little small stuff like that I do enjoy. Because it makes them feel so much more real, you know? It makes them feel they're not just cartoon characters. Like, these are, like, they're making them feel like, I don't want to say people, but making them feel like real characters, you know? They're not just cartoon 2D animation. They are real characters with real emotions and stuff like that, and, like, them showing off this brotherly between Raph and Mikey, them joking and, you know, getting on each other's nerves and them fighting. Like, I liked all of that with them, too. Also, since I already mentioned this before, the intro slaps. It is a fucking banger. Like, this is on tier with the OG. Like, if you've heard the OG one, that one slaps pretty damn hard too. This one does exactly the same. This one gets you hyped for the episode. And, like, I know with most streaming services, you basically you could skip the intro instead of watching it. This one, you don't have to even skip. It is just so good. It's almost like, why would you want to skip this intro? Like, this intro is so good, I want to keep going back and listen to it. Like, this is a good way to start the episode, get me hyped, get me ready for the show, and, like, I'm ready to go. I'm already hyped and ready to watch because this intro is just so good. Like, I could put this on a playlist and listen to this while working out or something like that. Like, I enjoy this intro so much. And then my final pro, I liked it was a good intro to the main villain group. Like, obviously we got the Purple Dragons, who we know are going to be just a street gang that the Turtles might run into every once in a while, and they're not going to be any real threat that I know of anyway. But the main threat, the Foot Clan, I liked how they showed that the ninjas are not just these, you know, are not just the lackeys for the main villain, you know, for the Shredder. These guys are guys you need to pay attention to and focus on, and not take your focus off and focus on the Shredder. Like, you need to focus on the ninjas in the Foot Clan and get ready for a fight, because they're going to bring it to you. And they showed it that, you know, they have the numbers and they have just as good of skill as the Turtles themselves. And then getting an intro to the Shredder as well. Like, this dude showed off why he don't take shit from nobody. Like, the leader of the Purple Dragons basically came up to him, said, hey, we got jumped by these green freaks and they took the money and it wasn't my fault, but don't worry, I'm not going to let this happen again. It won't happen again. And Shredder flat out tells him, like, bitch, of course it ain't going to fucking happen again, because I'm killing you right here. Like, it's just so refreshing that they didn't sugarcoat it. Like, basically it was him saying, this is it, I'm taking you out right here, right now. And I liked that. I liked that he is showing that he is a real threat to the group, you know, that the Turtles are gonna have to worry about him, because Shredder means business. He ain't taking failures, he ain't taking L's, and if he does take an L, he's gonna show why he doesn't want to ever see anyone, like, he doesn't ever want to see an L again. You know, you take an L, you're dying, basically. There is no, okay, win, lose, you know, we'll be good, we'll come back and re-strategize. No, it's win or die. There is no in between. There is no another second chance. You get one chance, and that's it. Don't fucking drop the ball, basically. And I loved that they made Shredder a huge threat. Like, this is a guy to be worried about, you know, to be scared of. Like, this is not a man to not think about and not, like, basically push breasts to the side and be like, okay, it's whatever, you know, we'll be fine, we can handle this dude. No, it's, this dude means straight up business. He will fuck your shit up. Pay attention to this man, you know, treat this man like the main threat he really is. You know, he is not a monster of the week, villain of the week. No, he is the main baddie for a reason. And yeah, there is no fucking with this dude. So I like that they introed them. And then I also liked all the intro to all the turtles and stuff. You know, we got to meet all the turtles, kind of find out who they are as people. Learning Splinter and how, you know, him being a sensei, but at the same time, he is also this father figure for them, and he is worried about them as much as they are worried about him. And them getting their new lair and their new home already in this episode, getting the turtle van. Like, we were introduced almost to everybody in this episode right away, other than maybe, like, April and Casey, who obviously will be later on. The Mousers, who were created by Baxter Stockman, we'll find out, I'm sure, later on in him. But we got all the main players, the Turtles, Splinter, Shredder, the Foottalon, the main characters who are in, like, every media of the Turtles, basically. So, it was very good to get that. And, like, overall, I gotta give the episode a B+. Yeah, great episode, good start, good pilot to the show. Definitely invested, want to see what's going to happen into the next episode. Other than a few hiccups that just seemed that I didn't care for too much. Overall, still a good episode. Like, it's not a bad episode. It's not a bad way to be introduced into the show. The positives outweigh the negatives so much. And yeah, I'm excited for the second episode. I might do a couple shows a week. I'll still only do one episode per week for each show. I won't only have 3 episodes of the same show coming out in 1 week. Like, that would just be way too much and stuff. So I might do it. I don't know yet if I want to do 2 other shows and space them out and stuff like that. But I'm going to see how this one goes, see how this does. Only because I want to do it. I still want to do this stuff. Review shows and movies like that. But it's just the editing process is just... It's hard for one person. I'm a one-person man. And considering this isn't my full-time job... And my full-time job is a 12-hour shift at nights that basically beats up my body to the point where I'm exhausted when I get home. So sometimes I don't have the full energy to do that. And then doing other stuff on my gaming channel, that takes away from it. So, like, there's just a lot of factors. There's a lot of stuff that goes all into it. And, you know, yeah, I can't 100% put all of the focus onto one thing, you know. It just, there's a lot that I have going on and a lot of stuff that I'm doing, and like, as much as I would like to edit these and make them look good and make them worth a watch instead of just putting a picture on there and just making this audio basically, yeah, there's nothing else I could really do. But yeah, so I'll do this for a little while, see how this works, just to get the channel something, get it running again. I hate that it's been dead for the last couple of months that I haven't posted, but it's just because it's just editing is so hard. It takes so much time up. Like, sometimes editing can take me like 2 or 3 days to get it done, and it's just because of how long it takes me to do it. If I want to do it right and make it look somewhat good, you know, and be somewhat happy with it, obviously. Like, I don't want to just send out crap and just do it. I was even thinking about doing that, where I was just putting clips in there and the clips just don't match up with the audio. I was thinking about doing that. And I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't know if that was just gonna look bad, having the clips for the show just playing in the background while the audio was talking and none of it matching up at all with what I was saying. So I don't know if you prefer me just to put, clips in the background while I'm just talking. That way there's some kind of visual aid. I'll do that. But if not, I'll just continue doing this. I guess we'll see what this brings. If it brings in more views than what I was doing before, then maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try it with the visuals. I don't know. I feel like we'll play around with this, see how it does. But I just feel like I wanted to still do this. But at the same time, like, it's hard, it's very hard. So, yeah, this will be the first episode for this. And then, yeah, I'll decide if I want to end up doing another show at the same time while I'm doing this one. If you want to check out my gaming channel, I'm working on a couple of games at the moment. I'm doing a gameplay, wow, can't get the words out. I'm playing GTA 5 for the new one that's coming out next year. I'm hoping by the time that one comes out, I'll be done with that game. Doing Resident Evil 1, the remake, because of Resident Evil 9 coming out. And at the time, I'm also playing Injustice with Superman around the corner, so I figured playing that at the same time. And yeah, watch me, if you are interested in any of those games, watch me play through them, watch me get very, very angry, and see how really dumb I am when it comes to playing games sometimes. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff on the gaming channel. I do a bunch of different stuff, with a bunch of different things. Like, it's kind of the gaming channel literally is just playing games of any sort and doing all different types of stuff and seeing, basically, whatever I'm feeling at that moment, I'm just putting it up there. That the gaming channel is basically me just doing games that I like playing or what I'm feeling at that time. That's what I'm basically doing there. So, yeah, if you want to check that out, I'll put the link in the description for that channel if you want to go check out the gaming channel. But this will do it for this episode. I've rambled on enough at the end of this episode about nonsense. So, I will see you in the next episode, and take care.